Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup podcast, episode 111. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
It's your 111th birthday. No, wait, that's wrong movie.
111th Star Wars pre-release. I did go to 2, so we're going to be talking about that and my experience. It was a ton of fun. Really enjoying the game. And a lot of people turned up, so I have hopes that all these stores that are picking it up are actually going to have local play, and we're going to have a pretty decent sized scene, it seems like.
Nice.
Around
That's
here.
awesome.
Yeah, very surprising. And then we're going to talk about some Magic.
Fallout's out of control, people. Out of control.
For now. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do Magic first, or do you want to do Star Wars first?
Well, we can do Magic. Also, I got to play a Magic Day today, so we can talk a little bit about some of my Commander experiences and whatnot if you want.
Sure.
But let's talk about the market stuff, because I think it's probably the quickest, easiest, and most newsy thing that people will be like, ooh, what, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Fallout, Fallout Universes Beyond collector boxes are now currently on TCG Player listed at $420. Rudy put out a video, evil Rudy, pumping and dumping, yesterday, I believe, basically saying, look at this, the boxes are at 400. And when I went and looked, TCG Player, they were under 400. I was like, Rudy, what are you doing here? What's going on? And I went to Amazon and I was like, oh, what? They're $320 on Amazon. It was really low, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I'll buy another one just because. And I thought about it and I was like, I don't really want to spend the money because it all gets charged at once. And I already do have one coming from Amazon. So I was like, I'm going to get like a $700 charge from Amazon at once. And it's going to piss me off because I will not want to have spent that money at that point.
Right.
So I was like, I'll just keep my one and that'll be fine. And so then, day passes. Now we're the next day and we're prepping for the podcast here, and I open up the TCG Player and it's at 420. I was like, oh boy, it went up. Let me go check. So I went back to Amazon, sold out. So It is done for. I think at least for now it's done, but I don't know if they'll do a second one because there's a lot of serialized cards in this. Now, this is something Rudy said too. There is the possibility that somebody is holding back.
Yeah.
But the fact that it ran out on Amazon too makes me think this is all there is. The chances is probably higher that this is all there is because they want this to be hype so that they
can sell more Universe Beyonds.
Exactly. Good deals with Marvel, good deals with Final Fantasy, with whoever else they're working with right now for the next one. So they want to show a crazy sellout hype. Everyone's talking about it. I bet people are probably reinstalling the video games, right? Just because of the hype. Which I've been tempted to a few times. I'll be honest. I've been like, oh, I haven't played Fallout in a while. I kind of miss it. Maybe I'll go install it and play it again. I didn't, but it definitely hit the back of my mind a few times. So
sure.
So it's doing its job is what it boils down to. And as far as a IP crossover for hype of a initial brand, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is how they should do it. I think it's good. I think it's the way to go. The less popular IPs, it won't be that big of a deal, and it won't blow up. The more popular ones, it will help their brands and their things, and Magic benefits. And frankly, stores, I think, are going to do okay for the ones that were able to get some. Assuming they didn't pre-sell them all, which I don't know. Do a lot of stores pre-sell on stuff like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious how that works because I know some people do like on TCG Player, but I would think the majority of them buy most of them for their local scene, in which case they should be able to charge a fair amount, still be under TCG Player pricing, you know what I mean? And everyone wins sort of thing. I hope they're doing that because there's only so many actual products with margin this year, in my opinion. So I hope they are doing that. Yeah. So anyways, it looks like it'll be good. It's crazy. It'll be hard to get a hold of, and it should be. It's a collector item.
So what you're saying is I should pre-order Assassin's Creed?
I mean, if you want to, going back to the idea of how big an IP is, I don't know that Assassin's Creed has the same heat.
I mean, I'm
I don't
more
know.
attached to Assassin's Creed than I am to Fallout. That's
Yeah, I'm
me
just thinking
personally.
I'm just thinking like Steam play numbers. Like Fallout's been in the top like a lot. Top number of players consecutive for the longest periods of time and things like that. You know, like it's a very popular IP. I think Assassin's Creed is popular. I just don't know that it's as popular. And I could be wrong. Like I could be 100% wrong on that. And
Yeah.
if that's the case, then yeah, think about it. And there's always Magic screwing it up and printing too many. So
Yeah.
we don't really know why this was such a small print run, but it was. So it's hard to say how it's going to be played out with the other ones. But either way, I think it's fine. It's a very specific product. It's not like, I mean, you can get the cards in the decks, right? I don't know. I don't see any downside to this. And,
Well,
and stores can make it
aren't
work.
there some reprints that are in the collector box that aren't in the deck boxes? In the
That
commander
are
decks?
what?
I guess there's like a set of like 30 cards that are in the collector booster boxes that are not in the decks.
I heard that. I don't know how true it is, and I'm not sure if the commander decks get a collector pack.
Like a sample pack?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
If they do, then that probably won't be as big of a deal. But I don't know, and who knows? Like, still, how big of a deal is this going to be?
Yeah.
You know, the singles. How many people are actually going to want separate singles for Fallout?
Sure. Right.
It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like it's that kind of product, right? So I'm not too worried about that part. But I could be wrong. Again, it's just my opinions.
Yeah.
But it's cool that shops should be able to make some money.
Yeah, on the boxes that they get.
Yeah, right.
A couple of boxes.
Yeah.
They probably, honestly, stores, I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't sell boxes and sell packs.
Well, yeah. And they'll make their margins there. Yeah, that would be the way. I don't know. It's curious.
Yeah.
It is a brave new world of universes beyond.
Yeah. Well, I did put a pre-order in for Assassin's Creed because it's currently 14% off. So we'll see. And they don't charge you till the end, so I can cancel it.
Correct. And you'll get the lowest price that happened between now and the time it comes out. So if it does dump for some reason, you'll get that low price and you'll have the opportunity to cancel, and it's all good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't go hard on the Amazon thing. When I saw I was unable to get the collectors through distro, I was just like, okay, I'll just buy one box off Amazon and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because that, at least I know I'll get that. Whereas like through TCG Play or whatever,
it could still be canceled through Amazon.
It can. It's just less likely, especially with how far out I did it. Versus a shaky release on TCG Player where everyone got allocated a lot. Like
right.
Yeah.
And people probably sold a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, it seems like it's going to be a rocky release, so I'm going to take the most risk-free approach here.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, you want to talk about Magic Commander play, or you want to go into Star Wars?
Yeah, let's just keep grouping Magic and keep people on the hook for Star Wars later.
All right, Star Wars is coming. I got to play some Commander decks. If you've watched any of my box openings recently, I've talked about all the different decks I've been making. Finally got to test them. Finally over COVID enough to go and hang out with some people and be in human space with humans.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. It was really nice. Yeah, it was fun. I got wrecked. My power levels are way too low. And also, I screwed a few things up, I realized. I didn't realize till last night because I didn't really goldfish them until last night. I thought I had the math right, and I was wrong. And my mana bases are off by quite a bit. Enough to make them all very slow at best. So I got to tweak them. But that was kind of the goal anyways. It was like, build a bunch of decks with cool idea that I like, and slowly work them up to something reasonable and fix the little bits here and there and cut and add and whatever, and then have a handful of decks that you like to continue to play with. And it feels good. Dina was probably the best. She's cheap, so she's easy to get going. She has a lot of fun life link, life gain, life this, stuff, obviously. But some of the decks I was playing with were so gross. Someone beat everyone on turn 5, and I was like,
What?
Okay, that's a
I
little
thought you were
bit.
talking about power level low.
Well, it
Yeah.
is like,
Are you
well,
sure?
power level low in that. Well, okay, here I'll explain it. So you know that group of friends, how one of them plays CEDH and has their own channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, right, right.
yeah. He built that deck for the child player with us.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fun.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fun.
So it's
Okay,
fine.
that's
It's
fine.
fine. And he beat us all on turn 5, and yeah, I'm sure he was very happy about how fast he was able to do that. It was gross. So that's what happens when you combine people that play CEDH and young new players that
Yeah,
we want to encourage to have a good time. You know,
right. No, that's the way to do it. That's the
it
way to
was
do
fine.
it.
It was totally fine. And then the rest of it was like mostly I got janked on my own, and they're super friendly about it. It's very casual, I think, is the more realistic term as opposed to very hardcore, not hardcore.
Yeah.
I basically knew after the first, or by the time I got there, basically that my mana bases were going to be messed up for most of the decks. I was like, look, all my decks are going to be messed up, whatever. They're like, just mulligan until you get a hand you can play. I was like, oh, yeah, that'll make it at least so I can play, right? Like I won't
Yeah.
be good. It will still be off for the rest of the game, but at least I have a starting like movement and maybe be able to do something. And I was able to do the thing most of the time before I died.
Nice.
So it was fine. It was fun. It was a lot of good times. And I missed the mermaid deck because I have so many decks that actually went through all of them except for Sky Noodle and Mermaid. And that took all day.
Nice.
It was good. So work to do, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I like Magic. It's fun to play. It's goofy and no one takes it too seriously, which is good. No one's like trying to race it to the end, except for obviously the new player who
Yeah.
is just excited to be able to kill people.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
He wrecked his dad so many times.
It'll be really
He kept doing it to his dad. His dad's like, "Your neck is very small, you know." Like, I could ring it, you know. You're a very small child.
Homer
It's
Bart
so funny.
moment.
Yeah, it was. It was totally. It was, you know, obviously all tongue in cheek, and everyone was laughing. But it was just one of those like, oh
Yeah.
man, you keep slapping your dad, and he's your dad, you know, right? Like he has control over your bedtime. So
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. But yeah, and then another person showed up, and he's a more power player. And I was like, okay, I'm playing this deck, and I know it's janked because I've tested this one a few times, and it's really a problem. I was like, play your weakest thing. So he played a deck that literally he doesn't play. He just forces everyone to kill each other. It's like a goad / tax deck.
Oh
Yeah, so it's
no.
like if you try to attack him, it just is a bad idea. So everyone doesn't want to attack him. And then if he does things, he makes everyone attack, but can't attack him. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
it's like, which was a perfect fit because it gave me the time. He basically just sat there and he kept
Yeah.
helping me. Like, and he would hit the other two and basically give me room to build. And I got to do the big creature thing, which never would have happened without someone basically playing older brother and defending me. So,
Nice.
yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next time I get to do it. Looking forward to fixing these decks too, because boy, are they off.
Yeah.
They need some love. That's it for
Cool.
me.
Cool. Well, let's talk some Star Wars. So, Star Wars Unlimited pre-release was this weekend, and I went to 2. I went to 1 last night, and then I just got back from my second one. I didn't finish the second one, but I will explain why. I'm tired.
Pure rage quit.
No, I won. I was 1-1. I was having a great time.
Pure rage quit. It's just utter.
We'll
anger.
get there. We'll get there. I'll go through the story. So the first one, I get there last night, Dark Depths in South Philly, and we had 9 people come. It was a ton of fun. We had the Golden Dice podcast. Scott, who was on the podcast a couple episodes ago, 2 weeks ago, was there with his crew. Or no, he wasn't there. He was there today, but his crew was there. The podcast crew was there. And then, so we had a bunch of people who were super experienced with the game, and then a couple of people who were brand new to the game, and brand new people won against experienced people. It was just, it's a fun game.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I always love it when it's like there's a chance. You know?
Yeah, Sealed definitely gives you that chance.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So, and it's interesting because the way Sealed works is it's a best of 3 format, and you have 55 minutes per round. So you're expected to get through 3 games in 55 minutes.
It seems hard, but I don't know
It
the
is.
game well enough
It
to
is.
say that is.
If one
okay.
person is going a more control-y type deck, just one person.
Yeah,
Unless
which is
both
definitely
people,
built into the meta with those
yes,
defenders, or what are they called?
Sentinel.
Sentinel, that's it. Yeah.
It is difficult to get through all 3. I think there between today and yesterday there were 2 rounds that I was able to finish all 3 games. Or finish 2 because I won the 2. And then we didn't need to play the 3rd.
Right.
But so Friday night I played Darth Vader and built a Vader command deck. So that's red, black, and green. And went 1 and 2, but my 2 losses were also very close, and the one went to game 3. Everyone was really nice. Seems like it's a good community around us playing this game. Trying to think what the... I didn't pull anything super cool the first night. I did do... I'm always tripping over the name because there's all these like super laser things. There's a super laser board wipe card that is just destroy all units, space and ground.
Oh, okay. Death Star, basically?
Yeah, it is. There's a picture of the Death Star.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So I did that, but then I lost the next turn because it costs 8, and you don't typically put down more than 8 resources, especially when your deck is 30 cards. Because all of your you don't have lands in this game. You put down, you draw 2 each turn, and then put 1 card down as a resource, and then they're all treated the same. But so basically, I did 8, and then my opponent had 8 resources to do things and kill me. But there was a so we played 3 rounds of 3 because there were 9 of us, and then that took us from 7 to like 10:30. We finished up.
Okay.
It was about a half hour for deck building, and then I did my second one today at Red Caps. Built an Iden command, so black, blue, green. Iden is a rare leader, and so you don't see her very much, but she is the one that I have been brewing and playing with online, so I wanted to give her a shot. I didn't have the strongest card pool, but I did have a Count Dooku. I pulled a hyperspace foil Count Dooku. I sent you a picture of it, John. It is gorgeous. The hyperspace cards in this game are pretty. So there are your standard card, your standard rainbow foil card, hyperspace non-foil, and then hyperspace foil.
So, quick question: what was that website that you can play online for our audience to know?
Yes, so there is not Tabletop Simulator is where you can play against friends, and then if you are a Flesh and Blood fan and are familiar with Felt Table, if you go to the same website, felttable.com, or just type in forcetable.net. I think that's it.
Something like that. That's enough for them to figure it out.
Forcetable.net/SWU, so SWU. And that will get you right to ones where you can import decks, you can build decks. They have the official starter decks there that you can just play with and just play against the AI. And I did notice the AI is actually a little bit better in this than it is in Flesh and Blood. So
it's good.
I think it's a little, because it like took mulligans.
Oh, okay.
So that surprised me.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. So when you start the game, you start with 6 cards, and then you can decide to mulligan once, and it's all or nothing.
Yeah, more like Magic. I had to ask about mulligan rules today because I couldn't remember. I've played so many different games with different rules.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I'm
it's
like,
hard.
How do you mulligan in this game? Because I can't remember.
It's very hard not to draw 7 when playing this game.
Okay. I can see that.
And then I heard that around the tables a lot today. It's like, oh, I drew 7. Sorry. And then what else? But so they did get up their player portal, and they do have a matching system and OP system, but it failed us today.
Yeah. Day one release. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've seen that happen at Magic events, which has been around forever. Yeah.
So that's why I didn't finish today, was because we finished 2 rounds. I went 1-1, and then it was like 40 minutes, and the next round still hadn't started.
Oh no!
Because
that's sad.
So we were like 40 minutes behind the round ending, and I had already finished that second round like with 10 minutes remaining. So yeah, it wasn't. I was just like, all right, I'm tired, I'm hungry. And then this was going to be 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I had my fun. But yeah, I am very excited to get my hands on boxes next week.
Awesome.
It just seems like, because like Top Deck is carrying it, and Philly Game Store, Dark Depths, Red Caps, everyone's going like pretty hard into it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Asmodee, right? Or Fantasy Flight, right?
Both.
Yeah. So it's it's a standard publisher that they buy games from all the time. Yes. So I can understand every store being comfortable with doing this. Now, I also understand every store fully grasping that this may be gone in a year or 2 or whatever,
I don't think it's going to be.
I'm just saying Fantasy Flight has this history. That's
sure. They have the history.
It has no credence to the game or its popularity. It's 100%. This is what Fantasy Flight has done. Someone will pick it up and continue it on. Like this is a story as old as game shops, basically.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the game itself.
Very like why I think it has so much staying power is it seems like Fantasy Flight knows that they can't mess this up again.
Well, that's awesome. If they fully commit
and if you go in, go to their YouTube channel. They've done a ton of live streams about the game. They're constantly bringing it up that like this is not. They're like all in on this.
It's awesome. And if it works out, then all those foils that you love so much will just spike in price.
Yeah.
Although I have no idea what the supply is right now.
It seems to be pretty healthy.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from a like distro hinting side of things as to like, is this not, is it going to run out? Is it, you know what I mean? Like I have no idea how they're doing it.
All I've heard is that it's fine.
I assume it will be. Yeah.
And it's the first set, so it's going to be around for a while.
And they have those like starter kits with it too, which they're probably going to keep in availability as long as they can.
Well, they're the starter decks. Yeah, those come with a Luke deck and a Vader deck. And there are cards in there that you can't get in boosters. So if you're looking for a complete playset for Classic Constructed, or for Premier is what they call it, you're going to need the starter decks. But also the starter decks are great for teaching new people. And the amount of people that are not trading card game people that have messaged me knowing that I am a trading card person and a Star Wars person were like, hey, you're playing this, right? And I'm like, yes. Would you like to learn?
Of course I am. How dare you ask that?
And then I dragged a friend on Friday who is a board game player, is a video game player, but is not a trading card game player. Picked it up. Had the same record as me last night, went 1-2. And I mean, he seemed like he had a lot of fun, and he's going to be joining me for locals bi-weekly, it sounds like.
Nice.
Because I may start a bi-weekly rotation of doing this one week, then Flesh and Blood the next, then this, and then Flesh and Blood, switching back and forth.
Now, what's the plan at the stores? Do you know? Are they doing mostly draft? Are they going to do other things? Like, what's the...
Top Deck has not announced what they're going to be doing, and that's probably the one I'm going to go to because we're both on the Jersey side.
Right on.
But the Red Caps, the first one is going to be draft, And then the rest of the month is going to be constructed, I think. And then in April, I think it's April, they're doing a 1K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Red Caps is all in.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't think I've heard of them doing something like that before.
They do it for Magic.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've never paid attention to their Magic circuit at all, actually, but
it's pretty big.
I knew it was big. I just never paid attention to like what they did. So they do 1Ks for that. I didn't even know. I had no idea they ever did anything like that. That's wild though. Because like even what's the other One Piece game? They have a pretty big One Piece. I've never heard them doing tournaments for that or anything.
I'm not in their channels. They break it out. They change their Discord, so you only really get notifications for.
So it's just Flesh and Blood that they hate and don't support. Is that true? Like, is that the only one they haven't done a 1K?
People barely show up anymore.
Well, that's true.
They don't have the people to do a 1K. Then we don't have the players to do a 1K.
I mean, if they did a 1K, they'd pull in the same people that the 45 or whatever from the Road to Nationals and whatever when they had those.
True, that's true.
If they did a 1K, they would pull in people from everywhere.
That's true.
But I mean, maybe they're just not. They don't feel it has enough store support or whatever. Like boxes aren't available for what they need, which is crazy. But maybe that's
I don't think it's boxes aren't available. It's just not high priority.
Yeah. Well, when I say not available, as in the sales aren't going through heavily, so it's not the extra money put into it is risk as opposed to being a definite. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But
yeah, that's wild though for a new game. I guess who knows? Maybe Ben's just a super Star Wars nerd.
He is.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay, here we go. The truth comes out. Now I get it.
Dots are being connected.
I don't care. Yes. Yeah. I don't care. It's gonna happen here.
It's a fun game. And I picked up at Dark Depths they have all of the accessories already from Gamegenic, and we're able to sell those. So I picked up a bunch of stuff. I picked up a 2-player playmat that's in hyperspace that has all the zones. It's very cool. And I set it up on my coffee table, and it will stay there. And then I got a Darth Vader regular playmat, and then a dual deck box that showcases the leaders and has the villainy symbol on the top. It's the black one. And then all the tokens. There's like a token pack that comes with 55 different tokens. Or not different, but 55 tokens. And I was playing the whole game and didn't feel like there was anything I was missing in there.
Nice.
And then there's a spot in the deck box for the tokens. And then so the dual deck box works really well because there's going to be 2 main formats for this, where there's besides limited there'll be draft and premier, or draft and sealed. And then for constructed, there is going to be premier and Twin Suns, and Twin Suns is basically the Singleton Commander version multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But you have 2 leaders, which I thought was pretty interesting.
How does that work? You just have them both in like that reserve mode where they have the activate ability but aren't in?
Uh-huh.
And you pull them in whenever you want?
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, when you have the resources to...
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so each person in the So if you're playing 4 people, you got 8 leaders.
Okay. It sounds chaos.
It's not gonna be competitive. It's gonna be
it's the table. Yeah, it's the commander-esque. Yeah, that's fine to have something like that.
I think it's very smart to have that at the beginning. And also they're even to the point where they are limiting the deck size right now. So like I forget what the exact number is, but it's low because it's singleton and there's only one set out, right? So I think it's set 3 or 4. They're going to increase the deck size for Twin Sun to 80.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the standard deck is 50 for Premier.
Is it 50 minimum or 50 period?
50 period. Oh. And then you have 2... you have a leader and a base. So 52.
Right. Okay, interesting.
And then what else?
You do love Star Wars.
Yeah. They're
But
doing
I
it.
really don't want to buy more cards of a new game.
That's fair. That's fair. You can just play with me.
Yeah, you have to make some decks so I can just come over and play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we'll play next Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have decks ready by then?
I'll have at least the starter decks.
Okay, yeah, because
And
I was like,
then
we're not going to be able to draft with just two of us.
we could do sealed.
How's that? Is that like a 5-pack or what? How's that
6-pack.
work? 6-pack? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. But draft, I think just the way they constructed the packs too is really interesting. So I saved a pack here to kind of break down here. And the other cool thing, they use the Belgian paper packs.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you do is for draft, you take the first card is always going to be the leader. There's a leader and a base in every pack. And so what you do is you open all 3 packs and then just take the leaders out. And then you're going to draft the leaders essentially. Like you pick a leader and then pass the other two to your left, and then take the 2, pick one from those, and then you get the third. And then so you kind of have information on what everyone's possible leaders are.
Can you hear that in the background? I apologize.
Just very faint. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's an ice cream truck going by. It's a little early in the season for that, but okay.
It's 65 degrees out. It was crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's warm out, but it's just like, wow, the ice cream trucks did not hesitate. Yeah. They're in.
And then your second card is always your base, and then chance to be a rare, but also common. I think it's always a common at the top, and then your rare slot has a chance to be a base. I think that's what it is. And then the common bases always have tokens on the back, so either a shield or a experience, which is a +1/+1. And then if you're lucky enough to pull a hyperspace variant of the base, then you get a hyperspace version of the token on the back. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 commons. And then 1, 2, 3 uncommons. A rare, and then the last card is always your foil. And that can be any rarity, and it can be hyperspace or not. So technically you could have I think it's possible to somehow have 3 legendaries in a pack. But yeah, legendaries, turns out it's pretty hard to pull.
It's nice. I think. Yeah. I like legendaries to be legendary.
Well, they're not like they're like majestics in Flesh and Blood.
What do you mean by that?
They're your power cards. They're not your one of armors.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something legendary is legendary.
Yeah.
That word has a meaning, and it should have that meaning, right? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Personal rant. End rant.
But I don't know. I'm like what you said about it just kind of being, I could see this getting competitive, but also just still being like, it's the culmination of a bunch of decisions that lost you the game. It's not one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you lose and it doesn't feel like you got stomped.
Sure. Yeah, and there's probably a bit more of what do they call that? The best way I can describe it is a built-in resistance to failure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, things can get out of control, but it's not to the point where it's an inevitable loss that you're just waiting to finish very quickly yet. Now that will probably come as they grow power. That's a very standard TCG comes out. It feels like that doesn't exist, and then it does. So do expect it by set 3 to 4, I think is usually when that starts to happen. But and then they balance, and then that's when you start getting bans and stuff.
Well, rumor has it sets 3 to 4 are already printed.
Wow. Whoa.
Rumor has it. Well, they said that they're working on set. This is not rumor. The number is rumor because I'm slightly forgetting which number it is. But I think they're done with 7 or 8 and are working on 8 or 9. Like they're pretty far along.
Interesting. Are they accelerating release in the beginning, or they just want to be ahead of it?
Want to be ahead of it. Want to make
Are
sure
they?
supply is there every time. That they don't miss a release date.
Huh. Yeah,
And that
I could
stores
see
can
that
get
being
the
important if they're
product they
trying to
need.
convince everyone about
Yeah.
um,
Having stable
that this
releases
is
every
real.
single
Yeah, yeah,
time.
it's a big deal if they want this to actually stick.
Because think about it, like Lorcana, you have all Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, all these new card games that come out and then are quickly unplayable because they're just not affordable to play.
Yeah,
And then whereas you have product available everywhere, it's gonna be affordable to play.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah.
You think it will fight Lorcana?
I think it will pull in a different base. But
That's what
there
I was
were
curious.
some
Is it a different but similar base, or is it
I
just
think
a totally different base?
I've heard so multiple people that I played with or sat around said that they are coming here from Lorcana actually.
Yeah,
And so there is definite overlap. I mean, it's Disney still. It's still Star Wars.
yeah, yeah,
Disney fans have adopted Star Wars. Um, it plays very similarly to, in a way, in that, like, the whole, how the lands work, how the resources work is very similar.
hmm
So it shares that, but beyond that, not really much else. Um, it's very much a game of its own, but borrows a lot from a lot of different things, but feel it definitely isn't like a clone of a game. I think it just takes a lot of good things from a lot of good games and makes its own game. So it makes it very easy to teach and it makes it very easy to pick up and play.
that's good. That I mean, that all lends to a good, solid play base for at least a while until either something happens that causes screw ups either on their side or player side.
Right.
But
And right now my only concern is that time limit and 3 minute 3 rounds, best of 3. But I think that will fade as people it will be rough for new players, but it will the more you play and the more the people you're playing with play, the faster it'll be.
yeah,
You'll make decisions faster.
and
Uh,
maybe that gets adjusted over time. Like
sure,
that's
yeah,
you see that.
yeah, and they are very much focusing on local stuff at the beginning, which I think is good. They're not rushing to do some giant Grand Prix, but they did come up with cool names for um, the uh, now I'm going to try and find it. The different events,
I don't understand.
like how there's worlds and callings for Flesh and Blood.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
So they're going to have that kind of competitive ladder or something.
yeah, so there's weekly play. You'll have your pre for locals. You'll have your pre-release, and then you'll have weekly play, and then towards the end of a set, you'll have a store showdown, and that's kind of like your road to nationals kind of thing. And they have promos for the top 8, and then this first one is Mace Windu, which is a really good card. And then, but if you finish first, or I think if you just, yeah, if you finish first, then you get a full playset of those promos because you'll get 8th place, you'll get 4th, or top 8, you'll get top 4, and you'll get finalist.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And so then after the store showdown, the next set will come and there'll be another pre-release, and then you'll just go through that cycle if you're just playing locally. And then there are regional qualifiers. sector qualifiers, and planetary qualifiers that all feed into the Galactic Championship.
All right. Yeah. Acceptable.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the cosplay at those events.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, I don't know. They've thought through a lot.
That's good. It does sound good. I can agree with your hype for its success, because it does sound like this is more than you usually get out of a Final Fantasy Flight game.
Yeah, yeah. And this is their first time really doing like a proper trading card game.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
Is it? I mean, they did Destiny, but that was like a dice game too.
I swear there's other ones, but I could be wrong. Everything that comes up is Star Wars with a Google search. Lord of the Rings, a card game? No, that was a living card game.
Yeah, they've done a bunch of living card games.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is their first real like TCG. Huh.
I mean, again, they did Destiny, but that wasn't. People will say that's a. I don't know. It's just it did things a little differently, and I think that's why it kind of struggled. But
yeah.
Yeah, I'm all on board. Very excited. Can't wait to build decks. Full shiny cards. Buddy who was there pulled a showcase Leia.
Oh wow, that's a freaking pull, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like I think it's going for like 300 to 400.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all on TCG Player. Singles are up there now. It's all still in pre-release, so it'll be interesting to see on Friday once pre-release comes down where prices settle now that everyone can sell. Because I mean, it sets kind of a bar for the game, but obviously things will fluctuate quickly.
Keyforge.
Oh, they did do Keyforge, yeah.
They did the Forge series. Yeah. There's a couple of them, I think. Source Forge or something like that too. Actually, you know what? I think they did. Oh god, yeah. No, they've done others. Okay. I'm thinking it's older stuff, so you probably wouldn't even know about it or remember it, honestly. Yeah, they've done a few. Yeah. Game of Thrones was theirs too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Game of Thrones was theirs too. Yeah, there's a few, but it was all like way before we were playing these games, so it was like very limited.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's fun. Sounds like you're having a blast.
Yeah. Super Laser Blast. That's the name of the card that defeats all units.
So here's a question. How many sound effects were played at the table?
Not enough.
Not enough. See? Gotta up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
Well, them up, because guys. Of the time frame.
Where's your lightsaber sounds? Come on.
There wasn't like much discussion. Like we talked if things wrapped up early, but like because of the time restraints, like we just
everyone's focused.
Yeah.
No time for making laser noises or like, because there's definitely you got to do some lightsabers when Luke comes out or somebody comes out with a lightsaber, right? And you got to do the blasting run when it's TIE fighter, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it required noises. I don't know.
Maybe I mean, me. There were 21 people there today, and that's day 3 of the store doing it. They capped.
Yeah. How many people did you see them in multiple stores?
There were people there at Dark Depths that were there at Scott and the
that crew,
Golden Dice podcast were there as well today. So that's 4 or 5 of them.
Nice.
But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of interest in this game.
That's cool. I might be convinced to try it at some point. I mean, obviously we're going to try it just us, but I might be convinced to come to a shop and try it at some point. I don't have the time or energy right now. That's for sure.
That's totally fair. And if you ever wanted to, it's probably to the point. I'll probably be to the point where I can just build you a deck that I'm not playing.
Well, yeah, I can't see myself committing to figuring out a deck and building it and doing all that stuff.
No. But if I built a deck and you showed up and I was like, here,
Yeah,
play
something to
this.
sling some cardboard. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, and then you can just pick the leader that you think is cool and has a cool ability, and then you just build around it. Deck building is just so much fun because of the
Yeah, it does.
aspects and the restrictions
When we
and
were first talking about it, I kind of started, ditzing around with the fell table one, I think.
yeah.
And started playing, like building a couple of decks, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see this. Like, I get it. See, that's the danger of me even messing around with this thing. It's just suddenly I'm involved, and I have to have every single card so I can build every single deck I want. Right? Like that's the
Welcome to my
problem.
life.
That's the problem with me. Oops, excuse me. I meant to mute there. I missed it.
Good. Oh, good. Cool. Well, I mean, I can just keep talking about how much I love Star Wars, but we're at a decent amount of time. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we?
Anything on the front of Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, Star City Games. Next week, I'm playing in the Battle Hardened. I'm bringing Kasai.
Nice. You decide Kasai. You're not doing Dory.
Yes.
What made you give? Yeah, good. What was the decision there?
I would have to rebuild the deck because a lot of those cards are in.
Kasai. You've moved them. Oh, you're all in because you don't want to change cards around.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
And it's the one I've been playing the most recently, so I have the games on it, and I won't have that much time between now and then to get reps in, so didn't want to rush anything. Not that it's not that much different of a deck. I would be fine playing Dory. It's really just having to resleeve things.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I mean, I built this Kasai deck for it, so I want to just go for it. It'll be fun either way. I'll probably lose a couple games, drop, and then force Star Wars on people. I am bringing Star Wars. If you're going to Star City Games and want to play Star Wars, come find me. And we'll play. I'm definitely going to bring the 2 starter decks for people that have never played. And then I may bring a box and see if I can wrangle a draft pod together.
That would be fun. It's cool. It's at the casino again this year?
Yeah, same place. Yeah. Are you coming?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
You could do I doubt it. Commander Fallout stuff.
There's Commander Fallout stuff there?
Yeah. You get a deck and get to play in a Commander thing.
Huh. That's actually somewhat tempting.
I had to go look and see what was offered in case when you said no to be like, well, maybe if I hint this at him.
Yeah, I mean, most likely not, but
yeah.
Actually, you know what? It's this upcoming weekend.
Yes.
I may be busy. I know my weekends are super booked for a while, so
yeah, it's this upcoming weekend, but I'm going Saturday only.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, look at that. Our friends that play to win are special guests for that event.
Hey,
they got big. I can go yell at them for giving our child friend a deck that's that powerful. We'd be like, you jerk! Why'd you do that? He kicked our butts.
Cool.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to play Sorcery this week. Yay.
Nice.
First time in a long time. So hopefully that happens. We've scheduled a few times, but then COVID and this and that. And whatever, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully it happens. Yeah. It will be nice if it does.
Cool. When you go on Monday?
No, it's sometime in the middle of the week. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because Monday is Star Wars night there.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about going, but then I don't know. That's 3 days in a row.
They have a CEDH 5K at this thing.
Yeah.
What? They have a lot of stuff at this. This is actually pretty impressive compared to last year.
Yeah.
Now, the reality is, can you get into any of these events?
Maybe.
I'm sure. I feel like SCG is not as big as what happened at MagicCon where no one could get into any events. No. It's a big event, but I mean, last year it seemed very reasonable. You could get into stuff. I failed to get into stuff, but that was a me problem, not a them problem. I tried and failed.
So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Seeing some flesh and blood people that I don't get to see all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
And the new
until
season begins.
yeah, it'll be interesting. Got ninjas and whatever else they decide to throw at us.
Yeah, the crazy stuff coming down the line.
Yeah, cool. Well, until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.